Today marks a pretty sad day for Animal Crossing fans as we pass a fairly depressing milestone that I almost completely forgot about. Animal Crossing fans are used to being disappointed when it comes to things like Nintendo Directs because it's pretty rare that we get announcements, given the type of game Animal Crossing is, where one title can basically last for years and years without Nintendo feeling the need to release something new. But that isn't every time, because 2 years ago today, we got the September 23rd, 2021 Direct, and it gave us one of the most impactful announcements for Animal Crossing New Horizons ever. That's right, 2 years ago today, we learned about the 2.0 update for the first time, which would of course effectively mark the start of the end for New Horizons in terms of updates and new content. At the time, it seemed like the majority of people didn't believe we'd be getting any kind of announcement for New Horizons, especially as 2021 had been fairly lackluster in terms of updates, and it seemed like Nintendo was winding down support for the game. But then we finally saw a glimpse of one of the main features of this update, the return of the Roost and Brewster, something that had been heavily anticipated. Also, leave a like if you kind of wish the Roost was in the game since the very start, because I certainly do. It was actually discovered in the code of the game that both would return for ages before this, but still a lot of people weren't confident until this announcement. And at the time, the atmosphere in the community was genuinely unlike anything I'd ever seen, with the exception of New Horizons reveal itself a few years earlier. Suddenly, millions of people were picking up the game again in anticipation of a major new update. And that couldn't be further from the atmosphere today. Whilst New Horizons has managed to keep a steady community, especially with so many new players joining all the time, there hasn't been that excitement or anticipation amongst players since, and that's really sad. In a way, this announcement generated more excitement than the actual Animal Crossing Direct which followed it, since Nintendo ended that off by letting us know that there would be no more updates at all, something I genuinely feel like took the wind out of the sails of the whole thing. Obviously, it is good Nintendo was transparent about updates stopping, but I still kind of stand by my point from an earlier video where I said it might have been better if they split up the contents of the 2.0 update throughout 2022, so we'd have another full year's worth of updates and excitement. So little did we know seeing this announcement 2 years ago that it would lead to a lot of sadness, and it would really be the last time that we'd get such an amount of hype amongst the community. I feel like the update system for New Horizons gets a lot of criticism, most of which is valid I feel, especially in regards to them updating the game with things that should have been there since day one. But there's no denying that updates got the community hyped in such a way we've literally never seen and might never see again. Whilst I'm sure future games will use this same model, the sheer moment of seeing the Roost return was enough to completely revitalize the excitement in a game that at the time had lost a lot of its player base. And I'm sad that that moment is now 2 years gone from us. On a more positive note though, I think it goes to show that you never know what to expect with Nintendo Directs. A lot of people understandably immediately dismiss the idea of seeing anything Animal Crossing to avoid disappointment, which I totally get. But let's not forget, this is where we learn about the 2.0 update. This is where we learn about New Horizons for the first time, and so many other Animal Crossing related announcements throughout the years too. I always keep my expectations in check, but you never know. Let me know your thoughts though, and maybe memories of that day if you were playing around that time. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you made it to the end, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more.